Back to another stock market open live stream. Yeah, yesterday we saw, excuse me, some of the Chinese indices down as much as 3%. Curious to see if anything rolls over to the United States. So let's take a peek at what we've got. Today is the 22nd, Friday. We don't have any exciting data releases. Yesterday we got initial claims, continuing claims. We got PMIs yesterday. We got existing home sales, which came in at 9.5% month over month versus the survey of negative 1.3%. We do not have data today. And, oh, wow, Apple, interesting. I don't think this is going to help Apple with their whole antitrust DOJ investigation. Apple held talks with China's Baidu over AI for its devices. Yeah, right. The U.S. government's going to be happy about that one. Wow, that's crazy. To me, that's now the second time we've heard that Apple's held talks with another company. And kind of crazy. You think Apple, I'm so disappointed in Apple. I've been wanting to, and I've thought about before this whole Apple consulting Google or potentially using Google Gemini for Apple's AI. Before that, I thought, wow, there might be some poor sentiment right now for Apple, but maybe it's a longer term buy the dip and it's a great allocation because eventually they'll have their own AI and they'll hit it out of the park. That was my thought, but now I'm just daily getting disappointed here. Baidu, wow, gosh, Apple, get with it. Does you got enough R&D spend? I mean, how much does Apple spend on R&D? Let's find out. We know yesterday we were looking at this a little bit. We know Apple spends, or 31% of Apple's bottom line comes from their services income. So services are a big deal. And then when you look at their revenue, I think services are about 19%. And so the reason you have that difference is because of the margins being much higher on services. So I get it. But let's see. Research and dev. Yeah, $7.7 billion in the 3 months ending December 30th, 2023. So let's see here. How many engineers work at Apple? There are 47,000 people working directly for Apple. Of these, 7,700 are customer support, 27,000 work in retail, leaves about 12,000 engineers. Okay, interesting. So basically, I'm going to write this down so I can remember this. Apple has about 12,000 engineers, and in Q3 2023 spent, how much should we say? They spent $7.7 billion on R&D. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to divide that by 12,000. That works out to, oh my gosh, $641,000 in R&D per employee in 1 quarter? You've got to be kidding me. No way. Yeah? No way. Is that math right? 7.696, and then that's million, that's billion, divided by about 12,000 engineers, designers, and marketers. Wow. Okay. So that's interesting. Apple has about 12,000 engineers, designers, marketers. So this is not counting store support staff. In Q3, Apple spent, what do we say? 7.69 billion on research and development. That's $641,000 per employee in 3 months. And what does that work out to per day? 641 divided by 90, or $7,000 per day. That's $7,000 per employee per day. And they still can't figure out AI. That's really sad. That's sad. Apple has, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, what are you gonna do? You know, I think it's when you look at it that way, you start wondering, are they that like stuck in their sort of like ways, way to speak? I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. So, all right, let's see what people have here. Probably DEI. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's if they're working 7 days per week. That's true. So divided by 5, right? Well, 90. Sorry. How many? Oh, in a 3. Oh, yeah, how many weeks are in there? Divided by 7. 13. So take off 13 times 2. Take off 26. So really what you're doing is 90 divided by 26. You're really only 64 days in the quarter. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So it's actually $641,000 divided by 64. That works out to about 10K per day. Wow. Wow. That's a good catch. If you remove weekends, that's about 10K per day per employee in R&D spend. That's just R&D spend. That's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah. I mean, sure, of course, that's going to be the cost of material too. I know, I get it. Like, you know, some dude's researching, I need some chips or whatever. Like, I do understand that. But still, like, if somebody went to you and said, you have a budget of $10,000 a day, go figure out a better Siri. I feel like one person could probably do that. It's like, yes, one moment. GPT API. Victory. Give me $7.7 billion. And they'd be better off. Let's see. All right. Saturday Night Fever in full effect with Kevin. I'm not sure if you're talking about because I'm sick or what. Some honey in your drink can help you with your cough. Really? Honey and vodka Kahlua would taste good? Maybe I'll try it one day. All right. So, let's see here. Oh, boy. All right. So, oh, wow. What? Let's see here. There's some Tesla news here. Oh, dude. They sound 3.7% in the pre-market. You know, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm happy about this. Like, I know I sold Tesla and I you know, people are very upset because it's like, you know, it's offensive. Like, hey, you know, you like the company a lot. I do. I love the company. It's like, you even say you like 12.3 FSD. This is true, I do. Why are you selling it? Because it's going to go down. Like, what? But that makes you a trader. Okay. Then I guess I'm a trader instead of an investor. Whatever. I don't care. But, so, what's the news here? God. Okay. So... Dude, I have to just say, I screwed up yesterday. I did a play on Apple yesterday, and it did not work. It was my first losing trade in like 2 weeks, and I'm so pissed because I went into the day seeing a lack of direction in the market, and I shouldn't have made any bet because I usually only like to make trades when the market actually has direction, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, we're mostly going down today or we're mostly going up today. We felt directionless yesterday, and so I screwed up. Yeah, that was my first loser trade in the last like 2 weeks, and I feel bad about that. It's been bothering me a lot, but I mean, that's like with trading, it's like you're still winning if you win 70% of the time, right? But anyway, that was really annoying. Freaking Apple. Oh well. So anyway, if you want all of my buy sell alerts, including my winners and my losers, make sure you go to meetkevin.com, and you can check out the Stocks and Site group. And my goal is to just post what my trade is, my thesis behind it, when I want to close it, and then it's really incumbent upon you to go, okay, yeah, I agree or I disagree or whatever, if you want to play it, right? So they're not always winners. Can't guarantee they're always winners. I think that's fair and obvious. But anyway, we have that. That's in the Stocks and Site group. If you check that out, link down below in at meetkevin.com. It's kind of like with the Fed. I'm blown away. What is going on? I'm blown away by Jay Powell there. But I think I understand what he's doing now a little bit better. And he is still so convinced that inflation is not going anywhere. I think he still believes inflation is transitory, which maybe it will be. Maybe he's right. Maybe these first 2 morning months or early months of the year will be a little, how do you say, a little elevated, and then things will come right back down. Who knows? All right. So, China, Tesla, China. It's a China problem. I kind of miss, and this is like, it was so scary and uncertain and kind of sucked back then, but I don't know why. There's something interesting about just everybody being stuck at home, and everybody's just watching TV and seeing Trump, China, blaming China. There's something interesting about that time, like 2020, is the weirdest time. If you think about it, the whole pandemic was like such a chunk, especially out of kids' lives. Like, Jack missed a year of school. Max missed a year of school. That's such a weird time. But some, like, I don't know if it's just like, as humans, we're kind of wired to just remember the better parts of it. I don't know. But it's kind of like your memory always seems fond. Maybe not always, but often. But then when you're actually in it, it's like, oh, this ain't that great. It's kind of like video games. Like, oh yeah, I got a fond memory about that. But then you forget like 98% of the time the game sucks. It's like 2% of the time the game's really fun. Anyway, Tesla is... Gosh, I hate this. Tesla has reduced production at its plant in China. Okay, Giga Shanghai production has been reduced. Okay, amid sluggish growth in the EV sales and intense competition in China, at least. U.S. automaker earlier this month instructed employees at Shanghai to lower production of Model 3 and Y. Wow. Model 3 and Y reduced to 5 days of production instead of the usual 6.5 days. The production lines run 2x 11.5 hour shifts per day, which remains unchanged. Okay. Output has been trimmed starting earlier this month, the people said, and staff haven't been a clear indication of when it will go back to normal. Okay, interesting. Early March. Okay, early March it changed. Okay. Tesla representatives didn't respond to requests for comment. Yes, we already know that. While overall passenger vehicle sales increased 17% in the first 2 months of the year, sales of EVs rose 37.5%. Tesla recorded a decline in shipments from the same period a year ago at China. This is true. Elon Musk's Tesla is up against increasingly stiff competition in China, specifically from BYD. Tesla relies predominantly on two models, the 3 and Y. Demand for EVs in China has been slowing. Some of the production lines at Tesla's Shanghai plant, including battery workshops, are subject to longer suspensions. Interesting. Okay. Sorry. Why is that not working? There we go. Okay. So, some battery workshops or other lines. Okay. Interesting. In early April, China will celebrate Tomb Sweeping Day, a holiday that's a quiet time for consumption. Okay. Tomb Sweeping Day. Is that like you go to like graves tombs? Let's see here. Okay, let me find out. Tomb Sweeping Day. April 4th. Chinese. Let's see. Chinese families visit the tombs of their ancestors to clean the grave sites and make ritual offerings. The offerings would typically include traditional food dishes and burning of joss sticks or joss paper. Okay, I get burning stuff and like a ritual or whatever, but if you bring food, who's going to clean it up? Anyway, that's kind of cool though. Like, I feel like most people don't visit the graves of their ancestors, like, ever. So, that's kind of cool. Good for them. And that's interesting. Consumption kind of drops then. And kind of this realization that material things in life matter a little less, say. Tentatively, I get to go visit Summer on Sunday. But not if I'm still feeling like this. All right. So, yes, let's take a look at snow. All right. Yeah, you know, I've been looking at snow. So my larger fear that I have, and a lot of people I know are mad at me about this, but I have a larger fear. I have a larger fear. Yeah, Alexandra, I still need to get in there and finish that up. I have a larger fear that the broader market is poised for a larger sell-off, and I don't really have a catalyst or a reason why. It's more, well, I guess if there was a reason, it'd be more this trend in volatility. Like I suspect that the VIX will actually rise substantially soon. I don't know when, but this is very odd to me. This is a painful, what's it called? Warning, or potentially painful warning. See, you have the VIX sitting went as low as 1240, and you're breaking this trend line. And my concern is that you're gonna end up getting like a July, September, August again, like what we had, and even into October, where the VIX just goes kind of straight up, and the market goes straight down for 3 months. And a lot of people got really pissed off about that. That was a really tough time. That's when we did the Reg A for House Hack. And a lot of people were like, Kevin, the market's falling. You know, I'll invest when the market's going up. I'm like, okay. Anyway, market started going up November 1st. So if you want to invest now, you can. Go to househack.com/ a 2024 to read the PPM. But anyway, I put a link at the top of eHack if you want to see it, just to make it convenient for you, for the house hack fundraise. And the warrants are due. Warrants are due. Fundraise ends in June. Warrants are due April 8th. And then, of course, we have the event in June. That's all on ehack.com if you want a quick link there. But anyway, that people got really nervous during those 3 times. Because you see this, we went on the Qs from 385. Wasn't much of a move, but 385 to 344 on the Qs. Let's divide that, 385. It's about 11% on the Qs. It's actually a good number. You look at, Tesla's been straight down no matter what. But Tesla during that time frame went from about 294. Wow. Dang, look at that. It got rejected at 300 for a moment. That's wild. 294 down to 198 in that same time frame. 48% dip. Oh, sorry, I have to divide it the other way around. That's a 33% dip. And then obviously the dip kept dipping on this one. And I think even Nvidia, what did Nvidia do during that time frame? Nvidia was just stuck during that time frame. Yeah, look at that sideways trade you had. On Nvidia, you were stuck over here at the mid 400s to 480 range for quite a while. So those 3 months were quite interesting. You had a lot of companies move down, a lot of companies move sideways. What did BTC do during those 3 months? So it was really over here, sideways, down. It was really at Bitcoin that kind of started the rally off about 7 days early. Right here is around October 21st is when Bitcoin starts the rally. Very interesting. And so, unfortunately, I think right now, Bitcoin is starting the correction. Like, the broader market risk-off correction. So, a little bearish. All right, so this is Snowflake. If you look out on sort of a year chart or a week chart, it's kind of there at the bottom of that trend. That's about all I really have for it. I don't really have a level to give it where it is right now. Now, there's really no horizontal support that I could find anywhere here. That's certainly not on the week chart. But even on the day chart, it's so volatile. That's wild. Yeah, that's the only thing I have for it. And even this isn't perfect. I mean, maybe... Yeah, it's just not perfect. So it's not great. But it does feel like it's trying to bounce off the bottom here. So the only problem would be, again, is if you had some sort of systemic slowdown in the market. Why is Coinbase surging so much in the last few days? Brian Armstrong actually came out and suggested, well, first of all, we bounced off this level over here. So there are 2 things. We bounced over here. This is a big deal. Bouncing off 218, 223. Those are some pretty good supports. And this was great reiteration of those supports. But Brian Armstrong has also suggested that business has basically been booming after the ETF approvals. And so there are a lot of people, myself included, who were worried about a slowdown eventually in business for Coinbase. I did think it would take a couple years, but, the indications of it haven't really shown through yet. So that's probably why. You're probably having people go, okay, maybe we don't need to be worried about them losing trading revenue. Who does need to worry is Lulu. Why is Powell speaking this morning? Oh, no. Where'd you hear that? The BTC drop already happened. Yeah, I know that's what people think. I think it's just the beginning. Well, if we do go through a systemic correction, everything gets it. It's nothing against Bitcoin itself. I just think the market is a little on sort of the greedy phase. All right. Forex Factory. Fed listens, transitioning to a post-pandemic economy. Okay, I'll get to the bottom of it. I'll get it up. We'll listen to it. Thank you for that. That's very interesting. What's he gonna do? I wonder if they've released a statement on what he says. Testimony. I mean, their blackout period is over, so today is, yeah, today's the 22nd. Look at the calendar here. All right, today, 22nd. Oh, yeah, I got it. Is that Powie? Must be. Yeah, the Fed has a live stream on it, so we'll watch that. Thank you. Tyler asks, "How's my daughter?" She's good. She had her 3rd successful surgery. Signs so far indicate it's going well. She's on a little bit of morphine right now, and lots of Tylenol, and no fentanyl, and she's breathing room air, which is really impressive. I thought she was going to be intubated, so pretty excited. Let's go moving up. Now it's just the rehab part. Gotta get her functioning again. She should be fine now, but boy, that was hellish. Pretty scary. All right, let's make sure this is working. Hear that music? That's Fed Listens music. It's like elevator music. All right, so we got that up. You know, it used to be that if I had a this again. It used to be that if I had something playing on this Mac, I was sort of out of ports. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess we can't look at the stock charts when there's something going on, like, you know, something I'm streaming. And so that I always thought that was very annoying. And now we have solved that. I can bounce between them. What are they saying here?
About that, does that mean you think momentum begets momentum, or do you think that things start to peak out at some point?
How much did you think summer surgery costs? Bro, it's called insurance, man. Okay, we hit our maximum out-of-pocket deductible a long time ago. We're done for this year with medical expenses. Like, that's one thing that I think everybody wins from in Obamacare was the maximum out-of-pocket. The family maximum out-of-pocket. So you have your deductible, then you have co-insurance. Deductible we hit like when they were born. And then you have co-insurance, which is you pay 10% of procedures after that up to a certain point. I think it's like 10K or something like that. And once you hit that, insurance covers everything. And so it's just like, because there's probably some really expensive surgeries. But I have no idea.
Stock gains.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of, the expectations are rich, multiples have moved up. So companies are going to have to do a lot of performance in terms of the earnings they produce, the commentary they have about pricing power, the commentary they have about cost inputs.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, boring. Oh my gosh, yeah, cancer treatments are extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. Is it true a birth would cost 10K? That'd be like a normal birth. You know, if you have like any kind of NICU, I mean, you're probably triple plus that. But yeah, it's pretty wild. What type of insurance? I don't know. It's like a Anthem PPO. I think we were like it's like a gold plan or whatever. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. Anthem Insurance. It should say it on the card. I'll just read it off to you, and you can Google it. This says... Oh my god, how am I supposed to know what this is? Plan. It's just a bunch of codes. I have no idea. Whatever, I don't care. Sorry. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. There. Anthem Platinum PPO. 154010. There it is. Anthem Platinum PPO. Oh, that sounds a little more expensive.
Bell coming up, last opening bell of the week shortly. We'll see you later.
Okay. Still waiting for Fed listens. All right. Somebody says, is our medical expenses tax deductible? No, but you know what is tax deductible is if you have a side hustle or you're self-employed and you pay for your health insurance through your business, tax deductible. So now that only works to the extent that you have income in that side hustle, so you actually have to make money with your side hustle. But if you're an independent contractor or self-employed somehow, you can provide yourself health insurance and then write that off on your taxes. And you get a tax break for paying for health insurance. It's like one of the greatest self-employment hacks. And this is why a lot of businesses pay for health insurance for their employees.
Order the company saying it's...
Oops. All right, the Fed thing hasn't started yet, so let's take a look at the sticks in the meantime. Okay, pre-market. Let's see what we have here. Okay, FedEx. FedEx is up like 10%. You know, it's interesting. Somebody emailed me and they're like, Kevin, FedEx is going to announce a bunch of layoffs. And they're like, okay, look, I don't trade on insider information, so whatever. And you know, now they have their earnings, so nothing's insider anymore. And then they're like, we should short it, right? I literally replied to their email. I go, you'd be surprised. The stock market could rally on the layoffs. The stock's up 10.6%. It's like, the stock market is like this perverse world where it's like, yes, more suffering, more profit, up, moon. It's bad.
Good morning. It's great to have everyone here today. We're really looking forward to this event. And welcome to our guests as well. I imagine you know that just a couple days ago, sitting around this table, the FOMC met and decided to maintain our current stance of monetary policy. My colleagues and I believe that making the right decisions on monetary policy depends on clearly understanding how people are actually experiencing the economy in their daily lives, and not just on the aggregate data. And that's why we're here today. I want to thank the members of the two panels who agreed to spare their time and share their experiences with us here today. We do have powerful tools and lots of data for crunching to be crunched, but nothing is as informative as hearing directly from a wide range of people engaged in the economy as represented by you. We want to hear the perspective, for example, of those who are helping families get enough to eat, and also that of a farmer and a rancher dealing with challenges of producing that food. We want to hear how workers are feeling about the job market when they post a resume online, and also the perspective of employers who use that online service to try to find workers. The pandemic has had lasting effects on the economy, and we'll hear today how parents are doing finding childcare and how our nursing school is responding to the well-known shortage of nurses. It was around 2 years ago that the surge in goods purchases during the pandemic led to a pivot to service spending and a slowdown in manufacturing. Data on manufacturing can tell us some of what's happening, but we look forward to hearing from our panelists today who's working closely with hundreds of manufacturing businesses to understand better why that is happening. These Fed Listens events represent our continuing and deep interest in hearing these and other perspectives on how people are faring in the economy and how Fed decisions are affecting that experience. So thank you again all for being part of it. And I hand it off now to my colleague, Governor Mickey Bowman, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Powell. Good morning, everyone. It's great to have you here this morning, and I'm so pleased to be hosting with my colleagues another Fed Listens event here at the board. It's great to be together in person.
This is boring.
To our board members who are able to be here with us today. I'd also like to thank our 6 panelists for traveling all the way to Washington, D.C. to be here with us today, and for your willingness to share your perspectives on current economic conditions. When we say that our policy decisions are data dependent, people tend to think that we're only referring to the national
No.
statistics on employment, inflation, and economic activity. But when
So I'm gonna like bounce back when I see Powell, but otherwise I think I'm gonna lose my freaking mind if I just listen to like Bowman talk about how grateful she is that people flew out to DC to go meet with Powell. Bro, I'll go fly anywhere except Hawaii to go meet Powell. I think it'd be cool. Just not Hawaii. That place doesn't exist to me. So anyway, Lululemon is down 13% in pre-market. Dutch Bros 7%. Why is Bros down 7%? Bro. I will look at that in just a second. Tesla down 3%. We did talk about the Chinese production slowdown. The thing about Tesla is you could get excited about short-term excitement over the $1,000 price increase for FSD, but it's just not going to change the reality. Oh, I love Hawaii. I don't hate Hawaii. Hawaii is like the best place in the world. It just doesn't exist to me. So I will give somebody a giant high five if you can tell me in the chat, why does Hawaii not exist to Kevin? There's one reason, and it has nothing to do with Hawaii itself. Anyway, so let's see here. FedEx up on 10%. Okay, I want to look at Dutch Bros really quick and find out what's going on with Dutch Bros. Let's see here. Okay, you guys got it. I can't. We literally have just enough range to get there, but you need a 10% reserve, and if we needed that reserve, we'd land in the ocean. So I tell, like, Lauren is like, Kevin, I want to go to Hawaii. I'm like, have fun. I refuse to go. I mean, we didn't buy a plane for ourselves. We bought it for work. We don't need to go to Hawaii for work. So, but yeah, kind of sucks. So anybody like somebody told me the other day, they're like, oh, I'm going on vacation. And I'm like, oh, I want to go with you. Let's go. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to Hawaii. And I'm like, fuck you. Anyway, okay, let me see what's going on with Bros. And then we'll kind of pop in and out to see if when I see Powell talking. Dutch Bros. Oh, Dutch Bros is doing a secondary offering, seeking $285 million in Dutch Bros stock sale. Okay, got it. Let me see what they're yapping about over here.
The second time. So we're more than happy to talk about that. Also, thank you for the work that you've done thus far in controlling, slowing, potentially reversing some of the potential challenges that we are seeing from an economic level. But I want to start with doing two things. In the bio, you referenced that when I was here last, we were distributing the equivalent of 250,000 meals a day. That number is now 300,000 meals a day. And we picked up another county along the way. So my territory grew a little bit. But I also want to add that one other thing has been evolving during that time period. The profile of those who are depending on the charitable food system.
Yeah, we're gonna, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of just keep an eye on the summary of what we see from Powell. And then not only will we keep an eye on that, but when I physically see Powell speaking, we'll jump on over to him. But he delivered, during his open remarks, he didn't say anything about monetary policy at all. So we'll see. Oh, we shall see. Okay, so pre-market cues. Let's see, we haven't looked at that yet. Pre-market cues are recovering a bit. Look at this. Here's your pre-market on the cues, recovering a bit here. You've got Apple finally bouncing. So that was my trade yesterday, was expecting Apple to bounce. But when I saw this consolidation, I'm like, we're probably screwed. Sure enough, I was watching this quite a bit yesterday. And so this is where it looks like maybe there's a bounce. The problem is between this point and this point, you get a good chunk of theta decay. Unless you move early. in the early part of the day usually. BTC USD, we are at 64.2. This is quite a chunk of a downtrend. I want to see where MicroStrategy ended yesterday. So MicroStrategy yesterday closed at 1597, and BTC at the closing bell, that would be, closing bell on BTC would have been right about, let's see, 4 p.m. Closing bell was 65-ish. Okay, so BTC is down, and we know MicroStrategy is leveraged. So BTC is down 64 divided by, call it 65. Yeah, you're down about 1.5%. Yeah, you're already down 4 and a bit on MicroStrategy. So BTC would really have to continue falling, I think, to push MicroStrategy down more. Because shorting MicroStrategy is a play, but you have to be really careful because it can have days like this where it just skyrockets, well, and then goes up. It's mostly flat yesterday. So that's something to pay attention to. And Reddit, I'm very curious to see if this sucker will end up bleeding out or how Reddit will end up performing over the long term. I'm not highly enthusiastic. Qs. And yeah, we got Tesla still struggling here in the pre-market. Did try to pop off here a little bit. Trade desk back at $85. That's nice. Google's still trying to get to its 151 resistance level. And Enphase really wants to be above that 113 level. So we'll watch this. Powell bearish, BTC shorting now. Well, yeah, Powell really hasn't mentioned anything yet. You need AI to detect Powell's face so you can switch to it. Yeah, AI simulation. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier, and then I sent a tweet about it because I was kind of pissed about it. We were calculating that they spend about $10,000 per employee on R&D. You can see it. I tweeted about it right here. Apple has about 12,000 engineers, designers, marketers, not counting store and support staff. In Q3, Apple spent $7.69 billion on research and development. That's $641,000 per employee in 3 months. That's $7,000 per employee per day, including weekends, and they still can't figure out AI. Yeah, maybe that's just me trolling, but yeah. They're talking FedEx, and I think this guy's been ranting for a while here. Is Powell going to reply to this guy?
100,000 meals a day. What's passed when I was here last year, we thought our new normal was going to be 250,000 meals a day, but we found last year that number had grown.
No real particular news here. It appears. Again, I'll watch for Powell, and the second we see him, we'll bounce over to him. I think that's going to be the most productive way to pay attention to this meeting. Otherwise, we're just going to lose our minds with boredom. I'd rather look at some catalysts or something a little bit more entertaining. So even Powell looks bored. Oh, he's just letting Bowman run it. No way.
So we're basically in the midst of a perfect storm. It's what I would say. Rent is out of touch with average wages. Families and seniors are living in what used to be efficiency hotels. This is where they find themselves living. I mentioned property insurance, childcare, simple supply and demand.
I think Powell's grooming Bowman to take over. I think he knows he's going to get fired.
11% in the pre-market.
Okay, Abby, we'll get to the sectors a little bit later on. Coming up, the latest earnings provide more insight on the U.S. consumer.
What we're seeing now isn't recession on the horizon by any means, but the consumer is softer, but they're stable.
Soft and stable. That's what we like about the consumer. We'll dig into Nike and Lululemon in a little bit more detail in just a moment on Bloomberg.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, so we touched on Apple, which is very annoying. Again, Apple consulted with Baidu for AI, Maybe that's why Tim Cook flew over there. It wasn't just to prop up sales. Nothing on monetary policy yet. I'm just writing down Jerome Powell discussion, 6 a.m., PT. Nothing on monetary policy yet, so we've got that written down. And I think this guy's still going off with his prepared remarks.
Program that has grown considerably since 2022. We have school markets or school programs in 70 of the schools in our service area. 70 schools.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is we could have we could have easily bought like 2 planes for the cost of what we spent on this plane and made it anywhere, but the operating costs of the one we got are way lower. I mean, it's a newer one, right? It's like a 2021. It's actually really fuel efficient for the world of planes, which sounds crazy, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like I think we were looking at the age of Donald Trump's Boeing. Like if you just wanted to get like the actual plane, like without the upfittings on the inside, that plane is like half the cost of the one that we got. Obviously, then you have to remodel it. We know Trump likes remodeling things, but yeah, it's kind of, the plane world's really bizarre and interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let me see what else we have here. Nothing on Powell yet. Dutch Bros is doing their offering. So how much was that? It was like 250 mil. Let's see here. Dutch Bros. 8 million share offering, 285 mil. So the stock's down on that. Oh, I wanted to look at the Lulu guide. Kathy bought Reddit? No way. No. Wow, that's actually really interesting. I did not know that. Is that true? I can't verify that. I mean, I guess I could. I have the little email thingies. Let's see. Oh. Oh boy. Kathy. I guess it would be ARC. ARC. No, I don't have it handy. Whatever. Oh, getting a lot of questions here on the 10. I'm just took a quick peek at email. A lot of people curious about that 1031. How you can 1031 into house hack. We put together a new brief. I think the last one was a little too complicated. So we made a very simple 1-page brief. So if you want to learn more about 1031ing your real estate into basically house hack real estate with no fees, which is a game changer in the industry, not to charge, 6 to 10% freaking fees. Check out, or just email us at ir@househack.com.
Range of family-friendly education and support services. Square One's programs include early...
Yeah, no, this is all prepared remarks. It looks like, honestly, this isn't even Powell. This is just Bowman. Okay, so as far as Lulu, let's write down Lulu, what went on here. Lululemon. Okay, so let's see. U.S. consumer environment somewhat challenging. Oh, wow. This is not good. Is this a canary in the coal mine? U.S. consumer environment somewhat challenging. Okay. Q4 adjusted EPS is $4.40 versus $5 expected. That's not good. And then you have fiscal year net revenue to be 10.75, fiscal year net rev to be 10.75 bill versus 10.96 expected. So that's a 10.96, 10.75. New number divided by the old number. It's about 2% less. About 2% less. Stock's dropping 13% on a 2% miss. Does not guide share buybacks. And their Q1 missed a little as well. Slower start to Q1 in US. US traffic has slowed. Oh, that's interesting. US traffic slowed. Okay, how about FedEx? I want to look at the earnings call. Maybe in the course member live stream we can go through some of these earnings calls and try to get some of the insights into what's really happening here. But again, little Powell here on this event. Okay, so FedEx, for the FedEx data, we have FedEx adjusted EPS. Oh, totally beat here. Adjusted EPS comes in at 386. I wonder if it's because of the firings versus 346, the layoffs. The expects to buy back 500 mil of shares. 500 mil buyback expected in the next quarter. Wow. That's like now, basically. New $5 billion buyback plan authorized. Wow. Huge buybacks. Expecting a low single-digit decline in revenue. Cost per package flat. Operating results improved due to lower structural costs. Write that down. Lower structural. Let's see if they're saying anything yet here.
40 hours a week, earning $47,000 a year is not easy. And then finding childcare. So what we've started to look at in terms of strengthening access for our lowest wage families in Massachusetts is we've started working on reducing the paperwork burden. I realize.
Yeah. Okay. This is just all the yapping to JPOW here. Tesla is going to make some serious tendies considering all EVs will use superchargers in the future. See, but that's predicated on there actually being a large profitability in the supercharger network, right? And I have to say, you need so many more perpetually superchargers with all of these other companies coming on board to this charging network. Like right now, when I go to charge a Tesla at a supercharger, which I almost never do, but that's also because I rarely drive. I almost never do. But when I do, there's like never a spot. It's really annoying. There's like maybe 1 or 2 spots left. If you're lucky, you squeeze in on them. There used to be lines. So the issue is like, yes, the supercharger network is growing, but what's growing faster? Yep, 1031 in, no fees. Exactly, yep. What's growing faster? The number of cars available to charge, or the number of chargers. So that's a big problem. You ever read Fundstrat? Yeah, sometimes I do. Yeah, you kind of just I try to diversify what I read, and then that way I could try to present different opinions here. That's always my goal, is to try to give a lot of different opinions. I think people who, just read the titles probably miss out a lot. But I think that I don't think most of you do that. I think most of you listen to all the different perspectives. You do the right thing. You make your own opinions. Don't blindly follow everything. That's my opinion, because obviously I'm not always going to be right. We know that. And yeah, let's see here. Like SocGen just put out a massive piece, 39 pages. U.S. equity strategy, ever stronger U.S. exceptionalism. Keep buying the S&P 500. Reshoring boom has led to being bullish on industries in the United States. We observed 2 distinct profit profiles. One large cap NASDAQ 100 growth stock, those seeing a 25% surge in profits. And then they expect, it looks like a similar story for other S&P 500 stocks here. So basically they're calling it this sort of turning point of U.S. exceptionalism, where you want to invest in the U.S. versus other countries. That's an interesting POV. JP Morgan's talking about Taiwan Semiconductor, and they're suggesting that AI will contribute to 27% of TSMC's revenue by 27% or by 2027. The thing is, eventually every single chip you make will be designed with AI in mind. So eventually it'll just naturally go to 100%. So I don't know how exciting that is. But I'm a TSMC investor, so what can I say? HeartNet. Let's see what Bank of America's HeartNet has to say. He's often a bear, so I like to see what both the bulls and bears have to say. How do you rarely drive? Well, because my work is here. You know, my office is 40 seconds away. I go-kart to work, and then I work from home. So I work from home and from an office that's 40 seconds away. So what do I need to drive for? You know, I just don't drive. I just don't go anywhere. All right. So, this is HeartNet. Let's see what he has to say. Tail of the tape. The Fed is desperate to cut rates. The ECB and BOE need to cut rates. Swiss National Bank is cutting rates. And the PCOB is cutting. This is the DNA of the everything bull. Central banks tolerant of higher inflation. Okay. Fed. Tech at all-time relative high. No new bull market as no recession. No change in leadership. No kickstart. Cheap valuation. Tech bull leadership since the financial crisis. Yeah, no doubt. Let's see, what do we have over here? Global rate cuts. Global debt. Magnificent Seven. This is the percentage of the S&P 500. Wow. That's crazy. Look how high we are. But really, you might just be on the trend, right? If I kind of draw a trend like this. It could be a little straighter. Political polarization. Oh, that looks fancy. Left wing, progressive movement, Democratic Party, Republican Party, conservative, right wing. This is an interesting chart. The world according to Biden. Oh. Countries in X posts by Biden. Wow. That's really interesting. So if you just look at Biden's tweets, this is what Biden's world looks like. Now, what's really interesting is if you change this to Elon Musk, it'd probably look like Tesla would be over here, right? It's this little tiny snippet over here, okay? And then you'd probably have border, woke, free speech. We'll put that right here. Free speech. And what else should we put in here? Maybe we'll put like SpaceX. Could be right here. SpaceX. There we go. Tesla could be this little skinny thing. This is Bank of America's HeartNet. He calls it the Flow Show. Don Lemon. That's evil. Make Don Lemon bigger. Lemon. Make Lemon bigger than Tesla for him. Oh. Somebody says, no, this is not. Tesla's really just a floating ad at the bottom. Put Tesla like right here. There you go. That'll be Greenland and Iceland. That's funny. Yeah. All right. The world according to Trump. That's actually kind of cool. All right. We're ready for the bell. So we've got El Bello coming up. Let's get ready for it. And then let's see how the morning goes. Let's see what kind of trades are going to be available. So let's get ready. Let's gear up here. And we talked FedEx, we talked Lulu. Summaries at ehack.com as usual. Okay, good. We got the cues. Let's get the bell.
First fiscal first quarter 24 guidance is for 9 to 10% increases year over year, Jim, which is below virtually every estimate out there from the analysts.
Yeah, and you know what? You could go to Ralph Lauren and get much better numbers. PVH, and we could look at the numbers and say, wow, wait a second. This was just a suboptimal quarter. Now, the question is, should we draw a pattern? Nike, Lulu, are these companies that are just charging too much when others are coming underneath them?
Had to mess up the bell. Love it when they do that. All right. So let's see what we got here. At the opening, it does look... Oh, wait. Powie.
Great question. Thank you for asking. Our agency is about a $10 million agency. That's about our annual budget. 92%
I
of
briefly
that
saw
funding.
Powie Wowie there. Okay. Oh, Apple's having its little bounce. Apple's having its little bouncy-downsy. I don't know if that's going to end up being enough to cover some of that decay from yesterday. Let's see what happens here. We've got the Qs. Qs are rotating down. You've got MicroStrategy down 6.5. You've got BTC pushing down. Apple is trying to bounce off of that news yesterday. You've got Enphase pushing down. You've got Tesla's trying to push up despite that news this morning. Oops. We got some news coming in here. ASML 152. How's SoFi doing this morning? Let's take a look. SoFi this morning. TBD. Let's try MSFT. Microsoft's down about 30 bips. Where's NVIDIA? Let's see here. NVIDIA's down about 0.5% this morning. It's pretty benign for NVIDIA, honestly. Yeah. Q's trying to pull down. I wonder... Yeah, Micro's bobbing. So is BTC. Feels very similar to what we had yesterday, where it's like, what's the direction gonna be? Microsoft thinks the direction is down, but the Qs disagree. Okay. Trade Desk up 4 bips. Tesla's down 3, but I'm seeing a green candle on the minute. So it's trying to break out of there. Google's up 1%. Nice move, Google. And okay, good. Let's see if we can listen to anything else. Is there anything here? Disney? I'll take a peek.
Have to do that to fill some of the gaps, make sure that we're providing healthy food. We're trying to dial back sugar sweetened types of food that we send out, particularly to the schools. And so we're fortunate to have a robust community that supports us from a philanthropic perspective, but our spend today is not sustainable in the long term.
Okay, Powell, talk. Go, Powell, go.
I have a question also for both of you with respect to your workforces and where you draw your workers and how you're able or not to retain them. So if you could just talk about the people doing this work, and that would be helpful to know.
Go first. We are fortunate, and I actually just a couple of days ago spent some time with some students who asked about the culture of our organization.
Let's listen in over here.
To want to be at a meeting with the executives. I think this idea of just sending the non-executive chairman is a non-starter when you have your major customers that want to meet with the board.
Yeah, although that is typically, you're going to, you're going to have sort of your lead director, your non-executive chairman in this case, kind of conduct those in the same way they would with shareholders. You're not going to send the whole board in. That's very atypical, Jim. I mean, maybe you think they should, but...
I think they should have a committee that meets. Yeah. I don't think it should just be one person. And David, the one thing I would say is that there really is only one other maker. Airbus, I don't think these people want to go to Airbus. I also, by the way, think that if there was a change at the top, perhaps the FAA would like that. All that said, Mr. Calhoun, I think, has been very forthcoming in his interviews with Phil LeBeau, but maybe forthcoming doesn't cut it. We've seen time and again that until you had someone change at the top, people feel that nothing can change culturally. This board is, again, filled with people who cannot be bought. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
And we will watch it and watch it closely, of course, as you take a look at Boeing shares, which, as Jim pointed up, are up. And there's a comparison versus Airbus, which has been gaining market share.
Yes,
Jim. All right, where else should we head? I mean, Apple shares are down a bit, Meta's down a bit. I see Alphabet though.
Oh, they're right. Apple did end up trending down a little bit more. Apple now down. That bounce is not working out for Apple. See, Apple is just not loved right now. That's a little concerning. I'm watching this right now. BTC just moved down another $200 since the open here. And so I'm going to watch this closely. I think if we get a little bit of a bleed out on the market today, there's a chance BTC moves down more. And then that potentially means MicroStrategy moves down more. It's a leveraged bet, so you have to be a little careful on that. Microsoft is trending up. Nvidia's pushing green. Disney was green. It's going towards the downside. So minute candlestick on BTC now for the last about 8 minutes. It's been straight down. This is surprising on Apple, maybe not though, but it looked like it wanted to really bounce off 170, 184, which was really just a line that we saw yesterday. It's not a longer term support line. It's just a line that we saw yesterday where we saw a consolidation pattern where we were multiple times trying to bounce off of that level. We failed to break out here, and instead we broke down. So that's worth paying attention to. So that's all that yellow line is. I purposely make them yellow if they're based on like day trade history, so that way they're not confused as like longer term fibs or something like that. You do have Google rallying. I think that might be because of their lead in AI and ARM's pushing as well as NVIDIA today. But ASML, they're trying to come out of the hole of being down here. They're about 1.28 down. You've got Coinbase down a bit. Bitcoin just dropped again. You got another drop here. You're now down to 33.6. I mean, these are like very normal fluctuations for BTC. I like to use it as a leading indicator. It's not always right, but I like to use it as a leading indicator for what's going on with the Qs. Sometimes it's 45 minutes early, and so I don't think that is a good sign for the Qs today. But I will say AI is pulling forward here today. So you're getting some enthusiasm out of AI today. Let's listen in for a moment and see if they have anything to say.
Relationship that is for show. But Apple has to demonstrate that they are more interested in this and address the keynote where Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, directly references how well this could be done in order to be able to sell cars.
Why wouldn't Mark Zuckerberg say, "Hey, we can do this too"? I mean, remember his famous product review of the Vision Pro?
Yeah, his product review was actually pretty good. Still nothing here. I know Jay Powell's in this meeting and talking to folks over here, but not really seeing much Jay Powell talk. So a little on the boring side there. Green candle coming through on BTC now as the NAS is moving up. You've got NVIDIA still pulling up. Apple down about 36 basis points now. Reddit's down 1%. And let's go take a peek at what some of the other news is. Okay, so other news. Let's see here. Oh, Tesla now down 3.4 on the other news. This is the China news. And ARM actually just gave, I thought they were up 1%. Only up 80 bips now, but I'm still seeing green, so that's interesting. Where's I was gonna look at, we were just talking about Tesla. Tesla's bobbing around 3.9, and then I'm gonna go, let me zoom out here, and I'm gonna go to see what the suits are saying this morning, as well as let's get our 5-year break. 5-year break even. Let's see here. Somebody's asking on selling Tesla. Yeah, hey, you got to join Stocks and Psych. You get all the buy-sell alerts. Expires tonight, 11:59 p.m. Okay, 5-year break even is 2.47 right now. That's definitely elevated. I mean, you're the highest level that you've been since, this week compared to the beginning of March. Then there was a peak in October, and a peak last March. So you've really got some pain on that 5-year break even. And then if we go to financial conditions, let's see here, financial conditions index, we are again looser, so just continuously loosening. We're the loosest we've been now the entire year after that Fed Powell meeting. That doesn't surprise me that Powell's meeting has led to that. BTC pushing those red candles again. The trend today is apparently down for for BTC, but we've seen plenty of bounces. Usually, though, we see the bounces in the AM hours. Like, usually the bounces are here, 1 to 2 a.m. We did not get those bounces today, so the market's on its own today without whatever that midnight support is we usually get. Q's down 7 bips. Still trying to get those green candles, mostly on AI here. Looks like Nvidia is the move. Reddit down 4%. Oh, it makes me want to short Reddit. Can you do options? You can't do options yet on Reddit. And Tesla's recovering. I wonder if there was any particular news on that. Let's listen briefly here.
And seeing that has become a Chinese.
Yeah, if you have 2 courses already, RJ, email us at staff@meetkevin.com, and we'll get you bundled up. We get you, make sure you get the best price. If anybody else wants a bundle coupon, just email us at staff. Make sure you use the staff email. It's way faster to get a response. Staff@meetkevin.com. Okay, so cannabis is rallying because of the cannabis approval in Germany. You can see that here. You've got Tilray Brands, for example, up 5%. And then you have Nvidia is stagnating a little bit here. That's not going to be good for the Qs. If Nvidia stagnates, it's not good for the Qs. That's really the only thing holding up the Qs right now. And Apple's tanked another 0.5%. You got to be kidding me. Everything College, just bump your email. I'll make sure it. What's your name? I'll make sure it gets handled. So yeah, we'll make sure it gets taken care of. I think yesterday evening they were like, it's like after 5 o'clock when everybody gets off. It was like it felt like it was like 60 emails or something like that. It's like, oh, so you might not get a reply until the morning. But anyway, so can you go short Reddit? I don't know if if it's shortable. I don't know that it's shortable yet. So how do you make money off it going down then? I mean, let's see. I guess I could try my phone. Let's see here. So if I go to Reddit, and then I hit enter, and then I go to trade. It's down 6%. Come on, man. Sell this sucker. Sell. Stock is not supported for short selling. Damn it. It's going to be down like 10% today. Come on. Damn you. What financial advisor are you? A joke, bro. A joke. Don't you know? Excuse me. All right. So, by the way, I will say a lot of people have been bundling the real estate course with the stocks one. I think people are really excited about, everything I know about real estate, which is in there, and it's pretty exciting. Still, look at Powell. He's literally just sitting there nodding. Oh, what does he say?
Excellent. Feel free to check it out. Excellent. But if you're curious, feel free to. Excellent. Feel free to check it out. The data, as I like to joke, Friday night.
J. Powell. He said like 5 words, man. This is Scott says, yes, we bought the courses and couldn't be more thankful I did. Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate that. It seems like a lot of people who are in the courses it appears to be the vast majority of people are very excited they're part of them, whether it's the course member live streams, lifetime access to all of that. You know, it doesn't mean we're right all the time, right? But yeah. So anyway, okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oops. Yep. Okay, let me fix that. Hold on one sec. Let me go here for a second. Yeah.
Would be the, by the way, the symbol if this deal goes through on Monday. And David, I can't believe there'll be a bank that wants to make that so-called, you know, really what is a margin loan for President Trump using that stock, because if that stock goes down precipitously, then you will have a Twitter on your hands, which obviously hurt Morgan Stanley for a while. But maybe worse, because here at least there was revenues. There's almost no revenues here. I think you brought to the fore the problem writ large of SPACs. I remember you did the same thing with Lucid. This one is far worse. This is one where it is political that the stock is up here. The faithful obviously want it up here. But, David, this company would never be, if it weren't connected with Trump, valued at even 1/10 of what it's going to be valued at.
Yeah, that would seem to be the case, at least based on fundamentals. Now, that said, if he were to win the presidency and use Truth Social as his way to communicate once again, you could make a case that it will become a vital area for everybody to at least be watching. And so advertising revenue would probably significantly increase. Jim, it's fascinating for that reason. We're keeping an eye on it. As I said, the vote, no question really today. De-SPACing next week, maybe on the 26th or so. We'll see what the date is. And then we'll be able to watch DJT trade. Now, again, if you want to try to access those shares and start selling, that could be the end of it in some way. And to your point, while I reported yesterday that there have at least been conversations that I've been hearing took place, though haven't been able to confirm, about would there be a way for him to at least use some of the shares as collateral for a loan, that has not happened. To your point, Jim, that has not happened. So,
you know, David, you raised an amazing point yesterday. You said you cannot borrow it. And I was realizing maybe people should realize at home what that means, that people are gunning against it, but they can't win, correct?
yeah, I mean, the borrow is something like 300. You know, it's you can if you want to pay some crazy number, but it virtually makes it impossible to do so, at least for most. Yeah, so
it's incredible how it's not rigged, obviously, but the system is not going to be able to work well. The capital system won't work well with this particular item, in part because there are people who recognize that maybe this could get President Trump out of what's perceived to be a jam for cash.
Exactly. But again, on paper at least, when this thing is trading publicly as DJT, if it maintains the current price, his stake alone, or the company that he's merging into it, Trump Media and Technology Group, will be worth, that stake will be worth some $5.7 billion, Jim. All right, before we hit a break, I want to check with you. Anything else you wanted to hit this morning?
Yeah, well, I remember if Donaldson, Lufkin, Jenrette would be around, they'd be able to finance it. Remember, they financed all of Trump's junk bonds for casinos?
Yes.
They're not in business. That would be a logical place to go.
DLJ is, no, that became a part
DJT
of...
does not have
Weber,
DLJ.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that something? They were so good, but they did those deals.
They got a decent price when they sold.
Oh, yes, they did. Well, they were quality, and I miss them because the three
DLJ,
principals were
UBS,
extraordinary people.
Payne Weber, they all. All right. I'll give you a bond report. I know you've been wanting to hear one, Jim. We're going to check out how treasuries are faring this morning, of course. Couple of days since our big Fed meeting and the press conference where we heard Jay Powell. And there's a look at yields. 10-year is down 4.214 as we kind of close out the week here. And you can see the 2-year note also below 4.6. We'll be right back.
There we go.
The Bond Report is brought to you by PIMCO, a global leader.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry for that delay there. I had to fix something. I screwed something up. This is a danger of multitasking. Yeah, anyway. I've been a course member and following your teachings for a few years now. My coworkers think I'm a drug dealer now. Hell yeah. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. Anyway, yeah, so I wish I could short, look, I wish I could short Reddit. It's stupid. It's like, I would love to short it. I think it's going to be down 10% today. I can't. I would have shorted it when it was down 5%. Woulda, coulda, shoulda does you no good. So whatever. Okay, that's my take. I don't think that this is going to be robust, this NVIDIA rally. If it's not, the Qs are going to be down a lot more. So I think the downward trend today is happening. And we're seeing that with the rejection already on the AI rally. So I think we're trending down. I can't guarantee that, but I think we're trending down. One of the reasons I think we're trending down is because BTC did not have any selling pressure, buying pressure between the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. time frame. In fact, you bled out between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So now, during market hours, you generally see flat to down on Bitcoin. That's exactly what we're seeing now. Obviously, it could turn around. I don't think it turns around until tonight. I could be wrong. Nothing I'm saying is a guarantee. I think there's a potential to go short Bitcoin-related plays. For example, Coinbase will, if Bitcoin keeps going down, Coinbase will go down. MicroStrategy will go down. These are stocks that obviously trade to some extent like Bitcoin proxies. We'll see. Tesla, it's basically barcoding right now. We got our 3% hit. There is a high. Okay, I'm going to say there's probably a 60 versus 40% chance. I'd say there's about a 60% chance Tesla sells off into the close. Why? Because institutional managers do a lot of trading right before the close. They talk about their trades during the day. The trades go through at the end of the day, especially in ETFs. I think that China production slowdown will hit, and you're going to see whatever institutions are still holding this. When we get towards the close, you could potentially see Tesla end down about 4%. I'm not sure about that. Again, these are just bets I'm making at the beginning of the day. Anything can happen. But I just want to be clear about sort of like where my head is. I'm actually surprised in Disney selling off like this. I'm not sure if this is because Disney had its enthusiasm and its run, and it's going to go back to 107. I don't know. Reddit's almost down 10%. Yes. Okay. Now, what else? Hopefully you like sort of the rapid fire ideas here on these things. Trade Desk hit 85. It's getting rejected. I don't know if that's a support line or anything. It was green. Now it's not. Google's the only thing running. It's finally here. It's finally here. Watch this level. If you are trading Google today, watch this level. 152, 1-ish. I think this is a pretty useful level. It's a Fibby. It is, which Fibby is this? Oh, it's the all-time high Fibby. It's the all-time high Fibby. I'm sorry. All-time high was a few weeks ago, but we're below that. It's the 2021 all-time high. So I'd pay attention to that. If we get rejected there, it's probably not great for the, wow, look at Instacart. Probably not great for the Qs. I'm surprised. Look, Instacart. I did a review on their IPO and I was pretty bearish. But that is a very interesting sort of U-shape here. Good for them. That's on the week chart. Oh, wow. They've been straight up since their earnings. So you gotta research what happened here in earnings. Maybe in the course member live, we should do an analysis on Cart and then an analysis on Lulu. Cart and Lulu. We'll do that this morning. So I'm gonna write that down. Let's go with course member lives. Cart. Stop it. Cart and Lulu this morning. StreamYard. Let's get that going. Okay, good. So, is there anything with JPAL yet?
Signal to them for company culture. And companies do reap some important recruiting advantages by sending these signals. So we dug in and did some research and found
what signals?
Post-ops clicks on postings from announcing firms increased by 8% compared to similar firms that did not make these announcements. And that's roughly equivalent to behavior we'd see if a company raised wages by 12%. We'd also see that sort of increase in clicks along the way. So finally, another feature that we know is attractive to job seekers is pay transparency. As of January 2024, a majority of job postings on Indeed included at least some sort of information about pay, up from less than 20% prior to the pandemic.
Oh, that is actually interesting. Yeah, usually it's sort of like apply and it's sort of like negotiable what your pay is going to be, right? It's like depending on experience is what a lot of job postings say. It's interesting to see a sort of a flip to just more upfront pay transparency, which is also interesting because it does mean to some extent you have more existing staff sort of looking and seeing what everybody else is being paid, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so let's drop that in here. Let's see what else we have here. It's Fed listens, not talks. Yeah, touche. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Oh, look at NVIDIA pushing up again. How interesting. NVIDIA's pushing up again. BTC still pushing down. The Qs are going to follow NVIDIA. It's basically what the Qs are at this point. And Tesla's down about 2.7. Google. Oh, look at that rejection. It's like perfect. I understand it's just a minute candle. I know. But you're going to see it on the 5-minute candle too. Oh.
But you mentioned
I saw Powell's mouth moving there for a second. It's like AI. Look at this. This is where you go short Google, baby. I mean, or you bet on a breakout. I don't know. I don't see it today. I don't think it's going to be robust. Let's see if you get sort of a double rejection. That would be the non-emotional, more tested method to go with. And we'll see how NVIDIA moves here, but still getting that downtrend on BTC. Okay. All right. So what else? What else we got? Let me see what other news there is. And then we got to go to... Max got a buy order in for Apple at 169. Nice job. Santiago, always feel free to email us. It's always individual dependent, and I respect that. So email us at staff@mekevin.com. Let me do... What's I going to do? Other news. News. Nope. Oh, we got an NVIDIA spammer. That's a bad sign. When you start getting spam bots in the YouTube comments about a certain stock. Uh-oh. Somebody says, you really want to short into decreasing volumes? You know, you should have seen the decreasing volumes you had yesterday on Apple. I'll show you shorting into decreasing volumes, okay? Ready? Where is it? Go to yesterday and then zoom out to here. Okay? Watch this. Shorting Apple into decreasing volumes. Consolidation trend. You're either going to go up or down. Volumes are decreasing. You'd think it might go for breakout, especially since we have higher lows and rapidly declining higher highs with increasing lower lows. Oops, the opposite of what you would have expected. But that's the market for you. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it all entertaining, my friends. It is so juicy and entertaining. Reddit, you must go down more. I wish I could short you. I would enter now. More. You suck. It is blood I want today. Oh, look at that. Look at that on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute. It's a second test on Google. Oh, that's so juicy. And then the thing is, it's just, the only thing today that's exciting is in terms of the up is NVIDIA. So anyway, all right, one last quick little look here of the news, and then I gotta go make another cup of coffee. I keep going too long here. What is this? BlackRock. I don't care about that. Samsonite said to explore buyout. Apple shares wobble. Lulu sinks 15%. No. Suits. Are you not entertained? Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Pound can drop. Yen moves harder. Mexico's surprisingly weak. Stock investors are looking beyond tech. This is all boring. What about yields? Yields are at... Wow, negative 5.7 on the 10-year today? Wow, that was unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Anyway, okay, so with all that said, I think it's a good time to say, if you have questions on the courses, email us at staff@meetkevin.com. We'll take care of you today. Coupon code expires at 11:59 p.m., so be there, be square. We're going to do the course member live stream in a few minutes. We've got the House Hack Reggae. You can learn more about by going to househack.com/2024. If you want to 1031 into real estate with no fees, email us for a one-page brief at ir@househack.com. Make sure to get a ticket before the price goes up when we announce the venue location at meetkevin.com for the June 21st to June 23rd event. Ben Mala will be there, and we've got some more exciting guests to announce as well, so it should be very exciting. And with that, I'm going to push the button.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage the ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker.
All right, awesome. I'm now going to jump out and get a cup of coffee, and then we're going to go into our course member live stream. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye.